Making a 3-2-3 joint is simple with my JessEm Dowelling Jig. First, I mark the location of my dowel holes. Then, I mark the adjacent side where the boards both connect. This tells me where to clamp my jig. Next, I measured the thickness of my boards and transferred that measurement to both pieces. This mark will be my center row of dowels. Once that's done, I measured the width of my board and transferred that mark to the adjacent edges. This will be used to align my jig. Using my drill bit, jig, and dowel, I inserted my drill bit into the guide. Then, I made sure my stop collar was set so the bit length reached 1/2 of my dowel length. Next, I aligned my jig with my vertical line in the centering window. Then, I clamped it in place. I adjusted the jig to match the previously marked center line. This will be my center 2 holes. Using a 1/4-inch drill bit, I drilled my first 2 holes in the pattern. Notice that the guides on this jig are equally spaced, making something like a 3-2-3 pattern very easy to accomplish. Once my first 2 holes are drilled, I adjusted the jig 3/4 of an inch away from the center line. Then I drilled my next 3 holes. After those holes are done, I readjusted the jig 3/4 of an inch away from the line in the opposite direction and drilled 3 more holes. This is the spacing that made sense for my board thickness. Now, I unclamped my first piece and clamped in my second piece. I centered my jig onto the vertical line I made earlier. Because the holes are located on the side of this board, I have to clamp my jig on the top side. Sometimes, you have to think outside the box to get things done. To drill these holes, I repeated the same process as before. Because of the jig orientation, I did have to unclamp and reclamp the jig when I was ready to drill the next row of holes. Now that my holes are done, I can put everything together. With this jig, anyone can replicate this in their shop. It's very accurate and very simple to use.